Hello, hello, hello to those that are joining. I'm starting to see folks coming into the room. Welcome to our internship meet and greet. My name is Andrea Wilson, and I will be your moderator for today. If you like, feel free to just state your name in the chat box and where you're coming from. We just like to get an idea of who is coming to our event. So feel free to do that, and we will start in just about a minute. Right. I see New York, Arkansas, Texas, Minnesota. Welcome. Again, if you're just joining, feel free to put your name and state that you're coming from in the chat box. We just want to see where folks are coming from. All right, welcome, welcome. Great. So I saw Clearwater, Florida, Portland, Oregon, Connecticut, California, New York. Okay, New York is in the building. I see quite a few New York. All right, welcome. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. This event is being recorded, so if you're unable to stay for the entire time, we'll be sending this out to you all so you can review for later. Again, my name is Andrea Wilson. I'll be your moderator. I am the Talent Acquisition Operations Supervisor for our Human Resources Department. And again, I'll be moderating for today. Just some housekeeping rules. If you have applied for a position with us and you're trying to hear about status or whatnot, we won't be able to do that today. We're kind of for these sessions, we like to give information about our different departments and especially give chance for our panelists to speak. So if you have specific questions like that, you can send that to recruiting@k12.com and we will get you connected with a recruiter. Actually, one of our corporate recruiters is on today, and you'll be hearing from her as well. Again, this will be recorded so you can review it later, and we will have a Q&A session at the end where you'll be able to put in your questions and ask some questions to our panelists. All right, so I'm going to give you a little brief overview of who we are. If this is your first event or you've never heard of us, we are Stride. We were formerly K-12, and you may have seen some commercials with K-12, but we switched to Stride, I believe in 2020. Since we've been working remotely, like the time has definitely gone past, but we've changed to Stride. We've been around for over 20 years now, and we are the leading provider of online learning from grades K through 12. And we've switched to Stride because we have expanded. So we also help students not only that have gone from kindergarten to high school, but we've added some types of courses for college prep and also career prep. So we truly believe that education doesn't just stop at high school, but we believe that it's education for everyone, and we want to build lifelong learners. So before I give the mic over to Ramneek, I want our panelists to be able to jump on the microphone and to introduce themselves. So I'll start with Kellen, and then we'll go down the line. So Kellen, feel free to jump on the microphone.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Kellen MacDonald. I'm the regional, or I used to be regional finance director. Now we've switched to a more portfolio approach. Less schools to look after, hopefully providing a little more in-depth knowledge of each one of those schools. Yeah, I've been with Stride for about 7 months. I'm going to say 6 months to give myself a little more grace there, but yeah, coming up on 7 months.
Awesome. Evelyn, would you like to go next? Oh, Evelyn, I think you're on mute.
Oh, goodness, I've been doing that all day.
Oh, it's fine.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Evelyn Parker. I am the head of diversity, equity, and inclusion within Stride. And I have been with the organization for 3 months and 18 days, counting.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany Martin. I'm a social media manager, so I'm on the social media and content team, which falls on our marketing team. I've been with Stride it'll be 3 years in July. So it's gone by so quick, but I'm excited to be here. And as you can see, I have the Teach Love hashtag, which I'll be talking about as one of our main campaigns that we're working on right now. So summer internships will be helping with some of our social campaigns. So excited to talk to you a little bit more about that.
All right, I'm Adrienne Francis. I'm the Director of UX Design and Research within our Product Development Group. On May 1st, which is Sunday, I will have been here 21 years, which means I've been here from the very beginning of K-12. So I'm an old timer, but looking forward to talking with all of you.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Remnique Chudasama, and I am a corporate recruiter with the company. When I joined Stride, our old name was K-12, and it switched to Stride. So I've been with the company. I finished 3 years this March, and I'm looking forward to meeting you as well.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Stephanie, she's also a recruiter with us. She may be joining us a little bit later on. So I'm going to kick the mic over to Remnique so she can talk a little bit more about our internship program.
Again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Remnique, and I wanted to add to what Drea had mentioned earlier about Stride. We are over $1 billion in revenues of our industry. So we're a big company, and we are looking to have interns come in the summer and help us out or help different departments. And the internship program at Stride is over 10 years old. It's a 10-week program. It starts June 6th and it's over in August 12th. And normally we have anywhere from 30 to maybe 60 interns in the summer. They join the company. It used to be in the office internship program, but now it's of course a virtual program. And we are, or the departments were looking to hire interns for are anywhere from finance, accounting, communications, IT, product development, academics, HR. So there's a need for different backgrounds. And we hope the students will gain, things such as, experience working for that department, but then also you develop a network, sort of making contacts with the department that you're working with or your hiring managers, but also other interns as well. And also it gives you a chance to kind of figure out if this is the right fit, this job is the right fit for you, and potentially you land a job, a full-time job after you graduate. So thank you.
Thank you, Ramneek. Now I'm going to ask some of our panelists just some questions about their time here, and then also what they look for in an intern for their particular department. So I'll start, well, if I'm looking at my camera. So I'm going to start with Adrienne, if she wants to just tell us a little bit about her role and her time here, and then what interns look like when they come and work under your department.
Sure. So Director, User Experience Design and Research within Product Development. I've been here almost 21 years this weekend. So what do we look for in an intern? Some of the skills that we look for are critical thinking. We do application design, product design, and it's not just making things look pretty, but how does someone do something and how do they accomplish tasks? So critical thinking is important. It's good to have some experience with user experience design or research in your coursework or in your hobbies as a foundation. passion and energy to learn. We're a learning organization, and on my team, being, having the desire to always be learning is really important. A growth mindset. So another important part of being my team is, you're willing to make mistakes and learn from them, because that's how we all grow, and not being afraid to do that. Good communication skills, being able to, keep everyone informed on, what you're doing with your work, and, feeling free to reach out to any of us. And then some of the basics, good time management and organizational skills. And it helps to have a good design sense, because user experience is design. So what would the intern be doing during the program? So the UX team consists of product designers and researchers. We work collaboratively with our product management colleagues and our software development colleagues to deliver the best product experiences for our students, our parents, and our teachers. So the UX team designs how people interact with our products to achieve their needs. And, that might be teachers who are trying to find content to add to their courses, or managing their classes, managing their students. It could be students who are trying to do their online lessons, do their schoolwork. It could be parents who have downloaded the K-12 app and use that. So those are all products that my team helps support. And so a UX design intern would get exposed to the product development lifecycle and the user-centered design process. That includes, from a process standpoint, that goes from learning about our users through research, defining the problem that needs to be solved for them, creating potential concepts for solving that problem, then taking those concepts and making detailed mock-ups and prototypes of the experience, getting those designs tested with users through usability testing. So we want to make sure people can understand and use what we've designed before they actually get developed, and then handing off those designs to developers for implementation. The intern would, there's some administrative type things that an intern would do, such as, helping us maintain our design system. They may contribute to improving some of our process documentation. They might help out with usability testing, taking notes. Some of the tools that an intern would learn to use would be Sketch and Figma for creating mocks and prototypes. Zero Height is what we use for our design system. We use Miro for online whiteboarding and collaboration. That's a huge tool for us. We use a road mapping product management tool called AHA. That's something we use with our product manager colleagues. And then we also use Google Suite a lot, just for documentation and collaborating as well. Culturally, the team meets twice a week to look at everybody's designs for feedback. So you would get some exposure to having your work critiqued, and so that it gets improved for for our designer, for our users. We call those design syncs. And then the team meets every 2 weeks, and we have what we call a retrospective. Maybe you've heard that term, where the team looks at what has been going well, what hasn't been going well, so that we can keep doing what is going well, and we can figure out how to improve what isn't going well. Again, talking about that growth mindset. So those are just some of the things that you could expect from an internship with the UX design and research team.
Thank you, Adrienne. I'm going to now move to Kellen to talk about what it's like to be an intern and his role, and also what that would look like for finance.
Well, I now want to switch to Adrienne's team. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's interesting. As a I guess a numbers-minded person, I'm seeing all of the ways that you can track that UX, with our people that are thinking about coming to Stride, and people that are in Stride. So that's very fun. But as I said earlier, I'm the director of finance for the schools, because we have corporate roles, and then we have school-facing roles, and I'm kind of in the middle there. I am translating school finance up into the corporate finance, and I have to say it's complex. As someone who's been in the finance and accounting world and operations actually for what year is it? About 17 years. This is a unique industry for sure. and it's very, very interesting, and work with some of the most competent people that I've ever come across, and it's still difficult, challenging, let's say that, as well as rewarding. But one of the things that we do in finance is communication. We would think, if you're outside of finance, you would say things like, hey, can you do my taxes? Well, there's very specific sets of finance. Taxes is not for everybody, for sure. What we do is resource management. We are looking into, sorry, I saw that chat. We look into funding sources from the state, which can be gigantic word problems that we have to translate into Excel models, and then each month we are updating what that funding is going to look like. We're building budgets with our executive directors, who are more or less the superintendents for the schools, and working very closely with them and their operations team to make sure that we're providing a stellar experience while also maintaining a profit. I don't like to use that word as much, but the idea is the same. We are trying to remain lean and trim fat and be nimble with and use our resources effectively. We can, if we're doing that for all of our schools, we can roll that money that's saved there into opening other schools and serving a larger swath of kids, which I think is pretty great. As far as our intern, I think we have some projects that are set up that are marrying different kinds of information. So it's a lot of dashboard creation. But what the intern would be doing here is learning what those dashboards comprise of before building. So we deal with numerous data sets, disparate programs that all need to talk to each other, and very few of them do unless there's a person there amalgamating all of that information. So it would, I think Adrian was touching on what we'd be expecting from our intern, and that growth mindset is maybe number one. You are a student professional, let's say, and while we're expecting some value from our interns, a lot of this is, I mean, even if you come in as an employee, there's a grace period, 3 to 6 months before we're really providing value, because there is such a gigantic amount of information here. So I would say that growth mindset is huge, that willingness to come in every day and play, you know, just to show up ready to tackle the challenges that are before us. And as far as finance goes, having some background in finance or accounting, or I would say even like a data science, would be really, really important and valuable. Certainly at the very minimum, and this is probably goes without saying now, it's kind of like language arts. You have to know Excel. I'm sure that all of the people on here know Excel, you know, at a rudimentary level at the very least, but we're in Excel all the time. So trying to get things as efficient as we can. Our entire forecast model is built in Excel, complete with macros and a lot of links, a lot of formulas. So I think that actually gives a decent idea of kind of what we do. Was there any other questions I needed to touch on there?
No, for now, we getting the idea of what that looks like for finance. I think you covered that perfectly.
Yeah, and again, finance is so large that for a shorter program, you'll be exposed to it all, but would not be required to know it all.
Thanks, Kellen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to now move to Brittany, and she can talk to us a little bit about social media and what that department looks like.
So as I mentioned, my name is Brittany Martin. I've been with Stride for almost 3 years. I am the social media marketing manager. I'm on the social media and content team, which lies within our marketing department. So I saw we have a former student advisory council intern on here. So that's awesome to hear that you're back and enjoyed what you learned on the marketing team. My personal team, I have one opening right now for a social media production intern. I'm looking for someone who can help create content that supports and strengthens our message on social media. So I'm looking for someone who has knowledge in social media, mainly Snapchat, TikTok, and YouTube, but we also cover Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. So all social media knowledge is important for this position. I'm really looking for someone who's ambitious, who can showcase their strengths in graphic design, video editing, have any social media experience. It's okay if you don't have that experience, but just a passion and willingness to learn. We're really looking for someone who will roll up their sleeves and learn a new program and really just find out what it takes to make a successful social media campaign. So the intern, like I said, will be doing all aspects of social media. You'll learn what it takes to launch a campaign, create promotional materials for a campaign, and schedule on multiple social media channels. So for example, the Teach Love initiative that's going on right now, we have Teacher Appreciation Week starting next week, but we've been doing the campaign for a month leading up to it. So we've had daily, weekly posts and just kind of promoting this big event that's happening next week. So you definitely have a hand in a campaign that's of a larger size. So we will be, for this program, the intern will be using programs like Hootsuite for social media scheduling, Airtable for project management, PicMonkey for graphic design, and Animoto for video creation. Again, you don't have to have experience in those, but just an interest in learning about those is important. And yeah, so we'll also be, again, helping submit ideas for Snapchat, helping with TikTok challenges, strategizing YouTube content, and then helping plan Facebook Lives. We're really big on Facebook Lives. So that's the role that I'm currently hiring for. We also have a web content specialist on our team that would report to my colleague Latice Dennis. So she's looking for someone who would help create innovative content for K12.com and other web properties. So they'll help support digital content initiatives and write blog. If you're more of like a writer, and the web content specialist would be more if you're not into like graphic design and video design, but you really want to get into the writing of marketing. So that's the web content specialist. So I'll put those two links in the chat. That's kind of what we're looking for. Someone who's passionate about social media, wants to get our message out there. And I see some questions. I'll put some answers in the chat about Canva.
Thanks, Brittany. And next, I'm going to move to Evelyn to talk about her role and the department she works for.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Evelyn Parker, Head of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, as well sitting in on the human resources side. So I have a dual type of role within the organization. And I've been with the organization for about 3.5 months, again, working in DE&I and human resources. We are looking to hire 1 to 2 interns, one specifically in HR and another one in the diversity and inclusion space as well. And what we're looking for with an intern is one who is a team player, one who is open-minded, has administrative skills, but again, those skills are teachable. So an intern who is teachable and wants to learn about the human resources space, but also the diversity, equity, and inclusion space as well. The intern will be working on various projects, both within HR and also on the DE&I team as well, working on data projects. So assessing data that's coming in within the organization and understanding metrics helping to assist with screening of applicants who are applying for new jobs, also assisting with onboarding, resume reviewing, and also sitting and learning about DE&I content. And that's with learning about program management, building DE&I education and content, and also communications for the organization.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Evelyn.
You're welcome.
So I'm just showing you some of the highlighted internships. Again, you've heard from our panelists. They spoke a little bit about some of these, but just so you know, you can search on our website, www.stridelearning.com/careers. And on our careers page, you can search by job title, you can search by state, and you can also put in intern. I believe you can also put in internship as well. So there's keyword searches you can do to look up what roles we do have available. So now we've come to the portion where everyone can participate. I did see a few questions in our QA, but if others have questions, feel free to put them in our QA box. You should see it. Literally, there's a little emoji that says QA, and you should see, you can click on that and put in your question, and you can, we'll have those questions, answer those for you. And I do see some already. So there was one for, let's see, for Adrian. It says for UX design, if you wanted to just to answer it, but it said for UX design portfolios, what information do you hope to see? I currently have a portfolio, but as a student, it is not as filled out as I would like it to be. I know you typed it, but if you want to just say over the mic.
Sure. So, I understand that students don't always have, especially if we have bachelor, people getting their bachelor's degrees, applying for internships, as well as people who are in master's programs. And I do notice that if you're in a master's program, you're going to have a more built out portfolio than if you are in a bachelor's degree, because when you're getting a master's, you're probably getting it in human computer interaction or, some kind of design program where they really focus on the process of doing UX design. So if you are a bachelor's, if you're getting your bachelor's degree, it's okay not to have a fully filled out portfolio. But what I do like to see is how did you're always going to be working on projects with other students. And, a big part of working in product development is collaborating, teamwork, being able to, work through disagreements, for example. So, but for your portfolio, it helps to see that you had a process that you followed. You didn't just come up with an idea and say, here it is. You had to start with something rough, and then you work that through and you iterate on it, and then you actually get to a final product. And so being able to sort of tell a story with your portfolio is also a good thing. That'll give you some practice to selling, how you work and what you've done, and always highlight the role that you played, because again, something is teamwork. So if you didn't do all the graphic design, you shouldn't take credit for it, but maybe you did all the research, or you helped organize everybody together and were a leader in that respect. So just, highlighting those kinds of things.
Awesome. Now, Ramnik, I think you had already typed it out, but for those, just in case they don't see it, can you talk a little bit about what the next steps would be if they're interested in applying for an internship? Like, where would they need to go, and what typically happens after the application and whatnot?
Yes, I did respond to one of the questions they had asked. So I think the person had asked what the next step is and how long it's going to take to fill those roles. So, the internship starts June 6th. So we're going to move quickly because we do need to hire you, onboard you, get you a computer, and get you started. So the next step is going to be to go to the website, and that is www.stridelearning.com/careers. And I think Drea has already shared that link, I believe. And if not,
I
I will
can put it again. I can put it in the chat.
So please go to the website, take a look at which positions you're interested in and apply to the role. The positions, I mean, we will get to look at your resume, review that, and then forward it to the hiring manager, set up the interviews, get you hired, and get you onboarded. And so the whole process will be good 2 to 3 weeks.
There's a
And
couple.
oh, go ahead.
There's a couple more. There's a few more questions that are coming in. I see a couple of them are UX specific. Should we continue to answer some of those, or?
Yeah, you can answer because I do see the one addressed to you. If you want to do that one first.
Sure. Let's see. So someone's asking about a career switch from working in the workforce for 5 years and then trying to make a career switch. Getting that certification in UX is important. We've had folks coming in, who, one of our current interns, he did the, Google design certificate in UX. That's always a possibility. And he's actually, I think we stole him from the social media team, but he's actually not even getting his he's an undergrad. He's not even getting his degree in anything design or UX related. It's actually in social work. But on the side, he does a lot of things on his own, just getting out there, doing UX challenges, getting that Google design UX certificate. So the more you can show a passion around wanting to do user experience, that's very appealing to someone like me who's looking for people, versus, someone who's going to come in and just say, well, I think it's kind of hard to make a leap, like, if you're in finance and you have never done anything and you're like, oh, I just want to see what UX is about. I'd want to see that you have done something. So,
we finance people are quick learners.
Hey, all that complex stuff, I'm right there with you. I can't do all that complex Excel stuff, but I would be able to help you try to figure out how to navigate all those systems and try to have a better user experience. So what does success in the UX design and research role look like? I.e., what would a rockstar intern potentially accomplish by the end of the 10-week internship? A rockstar intern would show up and, ask questions. They would, step up and say, could I please, design this part of the experience? As you're working on that, could I take a stab at doing that? They would be proactive and not wait for someone to tell them what to do. That's probably the same for anyone here on this call for any internship. You really want to have, somebody show up and want to contribute in some way. So, you don't have to nothing has to be perfect. It's really, a lot of it is attitude and willingness to jump in and do whatever is asked of you.
There's one, I think you might have already answered that one.
I think I answered that one. And hopefully, Hina, if that helped answer your question, let me know.
Rafiq, I know you typed the answer, but someone had asked, are there any internships that are outside of that June to August 12th, that time frame? Or
so what happens is, right now we have summer internship, right, which is a 10-week program, but there are times, and it depends on the department need, if they need somebody to work till December, for example, right, the internship can be extended up until December, and I believe we can extend it for about 6 months. So it would all depend upon what the need is for the department.
got it. Let's see. Oh, I did that one. No, am I on the right one? Oh, we already answered that one. Sorry. Any other questions. Let's see, I'll also check the chat. Or anything else that the panelists would like to add regarding the internship program, or any other, if you have advice or things like that, feel free.
I think internships and students applying for internships are a great way to start off your career path. It gives students the opportunity to mentor or shadow with folks in those positions. I can personally speak on that from starting off as a intern myself way back in the HR department, and having those experiences kind of added to my resume and to my professional development. So I think it's very key when being placed in these internships to soak up everything that you can, and also apply to different internships aside from something that you enjoy doing, so that you can have those experiences.
I would echo that. It's I'm going to assume a great part of your life that you can't really see or experience what it's going to be like, I suppose, at this panelist portion of our lives. But right now, you got it all in front of you, and you've got this time carved out for you to learn, and everyone's going to give you the grace to do that, and hopefully a lot of the wisdom. So I encourage everybody on this call to dig into as much as you can of the things that you find interesting, and see where that takes you.
Absolutely. I second that.
And don't be discouraged. I would say don't be discouraged, right? There's if something falls through, you're going to find something.
Mm-hmm.
Or be discouraged and keep going.
Yes.
By the way, that's a good tool as well. Learn some resilience on that. It's not always going to be easy. God, I can tell you, it is not easy. Every job I've started has been like, I'm not cut out for this. And then 3-6 months down the line, you start succeeding and providing that value, but it's not immediate. It takes some time. So stick with it, and just keep going.
Yeah, and like Helen said, I mean, this is the time to learn. You don't always know what you're going to want to do. For me, I was a communications major in college. I didn't know what I wanted to go in. So I interned at a radio station, a TV station, and a newspaper, got my foot in everywhere, and eventually I picked TV. I worked in TV for 10 years, and then I was just like, you know what, I want to try marketing. And it was a transition that was scary, and I didn't know if I was cut out for it, but your skills translate, and just learning, getting your feet wet and jumping in there, and interning is such a great way, an opportunity to learn a lot. And again, don't forget to ask questions, ask as many as you want. That's what we're here for.
I will say, I'll put in a plug. So I know there's UX. I know how popular UX is. I can even see it from the folks who are attending this session. If you're not familiar with Slack, there are a lot of Slack groups out there that are dedicated to UX. And so if, there are resources online that you can join to just soak up, what other people are doing, and get some exposure to the problems that they're working on, and make connections. There's always jobs being posted on there, as well as internships. So just take a look at those and try to join.
This is really good. I'm actually taking little nuggets for myself. But to piggyback on what was said, as far as I think what really stuck out was Kellen's, he said, be discouraged, but continue to keep going. And I think that really resonated with me. I'll talk about myself. I actually went to college for interior design and got my degree in interior design. And now I'm in human resources. And like they were saying about I'll try this or I'll try that. I'm seeing now that, because at first I was like, well, I'm not even in my degree. Like, how did I end up here? I'm using more of the skill set that I did for design in I do a lot of strategy now in my role. And a lot of that I used in interior design. I know a lot of people would think you automatically go to like HGTV and you're looking at paint colors and things like that. But I also had to do building codes, and you're trying to figure out how people maneuver in a space and which direction would best sway. So a lot of that, at first I thought, well, this is pointless, but actually I'm using that now when we're coming up with new processes on how we in our HR department, how we run when it comes to recruiting and hiring, and even to these events that we hold now. So I definitely want to piggyback on that. Don't be discouraged if wherever you start, because it's not necessarily where you will end up. You can take those skills and you can use them to the next place that you end up in. But this was very awesome. I'm so happy that all of our panelists were able to join in on this call today. I don't see any other questions. I do see a lot of thank yous for advice and feedback, and I extend that as well. Thank you to our panelists that joined today, that answered questions and gave us some insight on each of our different departments. Again, if you haven't followed us, feel free to go onto our social media pages. We are Careers at Stride, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So we are everywhere. And follow us at Careers at Stride. If you have questions, feel free to email us at talentteam@k12.com. Just know this is our first time doing an intern meet and greet, so you are the first to come, and we're so excited. So if you also have, comments or things that you think would be great for another event that we have, feel free to let us know. Again, that email is talentteam@k12.com, and you can follow us at Careers at Stride. I want to thank also our participants that registered for the event. Remember, we will be posting this on our YouTube page, and we will be sending this out to you all later this week, so you can review if you weren't able to stay for the entire time. But I don't see any other questions, so I will be giving you all back about 15 minutes of your day. I hope you will enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and you have a terrific rest of your week and weekend, and I will talk to you all the next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.